Hello historical people, Order of the Blade people, it's Wes, and we're going to do some more English longsword, but now we're moving on to the Ledall roll, okay? So, bloody wasp or whatever that was. So, Ledall roll is set 100 odd years after the Man That Will that we were covering previously, and because of that, we do see a couple of decent kind of changes. We see some language changes and we see some kind of style changes, I think, as well. And I'll show you that. So I'll just run straight into what I think the first chase is going to look like, and then we'll go from there. I do have a bit of a ramble on some of the term changes, etc., etc. So we'll get on with that. But I'll read you from the scripture. So the first chase of the Ledall roll is a full stroke, a For-Foyne with a quarter lightly delivered, and if played twice will bring you to your ground. Okay, and playing around with this, if I adopt the opposite leg forward sort of stance, which is fairly traditional for the old ancient styles or whatever, so my full stroke is just going to be a full strike down with a step forward, then my quarter lightly delivered. I mean, if I carry my full stroke on, let's say I end up over here in my quarter guard, it's a Foyne and a quarter lightly delivered. Okay, so the Foyne I'm taking to mean lunge. I'll explain more on that later. But that puts me in this kind of position, which is opposite. So if I play the same thing again, I'll end up where I started, basically. So I'll run it again anyway. So full stroke into my Foyne and quarter, and on the retreat I'm back to where I started near enough. Okay, I'll show you from the side. So right foot forward, obviously I'm left-handed, so just do whatever you need to do to reverse these. So full stroke, quarter, and then the second time to return to my ground, full stroke, quarter. Pretty much back where I started. For some reason I have the habit of, I feel the need to keep the sword forward instead of bring it back up to the shoulder, but that's just me, so ignore that bit. Take the sword back to wherever you feel most comfortable. But yeah, pretty straightforward, pretty simple really. I think it's just a basic drill for people to understand that kind of body mechanic of shifting over when you're on a full stroke, and then just ye olde English, it kind of makes sense to come up here. If that's your quarter below anyway, then if your full strike's going out, you may as well bring it all the way around. It doesn't particularly state anything like that. This is just what I find useful in that situation. Namely, if I full stroke down here, I could possibly quarter blow, like off that, okay, or whatever. But it makes sense to try and protect yourself, especially if you are moving into the danger. But yes, so Foyne meaning lunge. That's something I've been working on. I've been reading up a fair bit and then looking into some of the etymology of some of these words. Now, the word Foyne itself does mean to thrust, okay? But when you look closer into it, it means to thrust with a lunge. And that's kind of when you look at the term outside of the context of fencing, sword fighting. So when I look at it within the context, and when you read in the Ledall roll, where you use Foyne is like after loads of different attacks. It's like attack, Foyne, attack, Foyne, attack, Foyne, attack, Foyne. And it would just be really silly going like, oh, thrust, oh, quarter, thrust, oh, thrust, thrust. And there are instances where we have thrust specifically mentioned as well. So the word thrust is also in there. So it doesn't make sense for two words to mean the same thing, really. And where we're looking, where we have the For-Foyne and the back Foyne, like that makes so much more sense as lunges than it does a backwards thrust or a back thrust, whatever the fuck that means. So that's how I think the first chase goes. I'm going to move on and do the rest of the chases under that kind of guise of that's what that means. And yeah, hopefully that's useful. Hopefully that's giving you a bit of a perspective. The one thing I will say is, judging by the Ledall roll, the type of fencing. So quickly before I turn this off, man that will first play, we know it's something along the lines of hawk into double, then quarter and a retreat. I think I missed some footwork there, but it's more kind of lateral movement type of stuff. Whereas the Ledall roll does seem to, you know, be more online lunge and recover, and a bit more evasive